Welcome to Recently Logged, where this week the podcast is brought to you by John Woo.
Except for not really, though.
No. It's just a joke, guys. Don't sue us yet. You can sue us later.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, hello, everybody.
Hi.
We're back at it again.
Another day, another nickel.
No, my. But yeah. For those who have never listened to the podcast before, I'm Robbie, and the other guy is Micah.
I'm the host. He's my co-host, by the way.
But Micah, you've just been introduced as the other guy.
Yeah, well, that's because I'm doing the actual work behind the scenes right now.
Yes, I'm sure you are.
I am.
But anyway, this week we're going to be covering the second Mission Impossible movie, Mission Impossible 2.
Yeah, we're going through the series, just like we did with the Harry Potter series, actually.
I love how it's just like the Mission Impossible franchise. Some franchises, like maybe like Bond or something, have like different names for each movie. These literally just do numbers.
Well,
the entire time.
No, they do it.
Or well, I guess
Mission
Rogue
Impossible,
Nation.
Mission Impossible 2, Mission Impossible 3, Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol,
Yeah,
Mission
okay,
Impossible
never mind.
Rogue Nation, Mission Impossible Fallout.
Okay, so it's only the first three.
Yes.
Wait, what would they name this one?
They would name it
Mission Impossible Electric Boogaloo.
fitting name.
That would be pretty good, actually.
Mission Impossible 1, more like Mission Impossible Toast.
Is this going to become a thing, Micah?
Yes.
Wow.
And then Mission Impossible 2 would be Mission Impossible Electric Boogaloo.
Electric Boogaloo, exactly.
And then Mission Impossible 3 would be Mission Impossible
J.J.
Abrams.
The only J.J. Abrams movie I've seen that I've liked outside of like Cloverfield, I guess.
I was about to say, what about like Cloverfield?
But he did not direct that, so.
Yeah, that's true. He produces so much.
Yeah, I was about to say, if we're including everything he's produced, then there's a much broader range of things there. But anyway, do you wanna go ahead and get into the basic thoughts about this movie, this film?
I do, but give me a second because I'm looking up J.J. Abrams movies.
Wait.
But Letterboxd doesn't want to load.
Micah, this is sad.
Letterboxd doesn't want to load. Okay, fine. I'll do this and then do that later. All right. So Mission Impossible 2 is a 2000 movie, so it's 20 years old now. It's rated PG-13. It's 123 minutes. According to this, it's an action-adventure thriller. It's directed by John Woo.
Who'd have thought?
Has Tom Cruise and Dougray Scott. Thandie?
What?
Thandie Newton?
Apparently she's in Westworld, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's in Westworld.
Okay.
Man, I hate these names.
Micah.
You can look up the cast.
You can look up the cast if you want. All right, well. Oh, and I've looked up his movies, Micah, and he was a producer on Fallout, so that's my favorite.
I wasn't going to say producer.
You're saying
director.
Director of 6 films.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, MI3 is my favorite.
Oh, dang.
Dang.
And the screenplay was by Robert Towne.
I feel like there should be a second part to that last name. Like it's usually like Town something. I don't know.
Town what?
I don't know. Don't question me, Micah.
But yeah, that would be the basic facts.
Wow. Well, I'm sure that was thrilling for everyone else.
Yes. What would your basic thoughts be, Robbie?
My basic thoughts, basically, I think this movie, I respect it in the fact that it takes so many risks, but none of them pay off. It goes in a completely different direction. It makes so many choices different from the original film, and it just doesn't work 99% of the time. But it does have some very well choreographed action.
Well, I tend to disagree.
I don't know about the editing of the action, but it does have pretty well choreographed action.
Well, I still tend to disagree.
The big action set piece, the big stunt thing in this one is pretty cool. The jumping out of the building. There's not actually like a live action stunt besides like the motorcycle thing, which is fine. The motorcycle thing is fine.
I mean, jumping into the building, they did just like he actually jumped down a big area, just not an actual building. It was green screen.
Yeah. I found out in research for this episode that there was actually a bit of post-production troubles for this, and they had to cut quite a few scenes out of the movie, and you can tell for like shortness, and it's still 2 hours long.
Right? And it feels so long. Like, I can't imagine if this had more scenes, I'd be like, turn this off.
But yeah, apparently they cut out like multiple like plot scenes.
Wow.
So yeah, no, overall I think it is, I don't know how to describe my thoughts on this movie. It's very weird.
Yeah,
I think it's like the most boring action movie I've seen probably ever, but it has some of like the coolest like visuals and stuff I've seen it in an action movie as well.
Okay. Well, allow me to take the microphone.
Wow.
So I hate 90% of this movie.
Wow.
But like the reason I gave it what I did, because I ended up giving it 2.5 stars, not that especially low.
Yeah, that's
but I feel like there still is a good movie somewhere in here. Like, there are some cool things in it, and the opening is actually pretty. Like the opening bit of the movie is actually pretty good.
Yeah, I was about to say. I was like, wait, maybe this is better than I remember.
But
and then it wasn't.
Like, there's just so much that it does wrong.
So, like I said, so many choices and risks it takes that just don't work.
And yeah, it's not like most movies when they go wrong. It's not just like a straight up what you would think to be bad movie, but yet like every creative decision they go for ends up just not working. Like, it's not like there's bad acting. Well, it's not. Well, okay.
There's some bad.
Well, it's not like there's awful acting.
Okay.
It's not like the writing is actually like horrible.
Well, the writing for the main female character is straight up awful. Straight up awful.
Okay, but like the action sequences aren't horrible. Like, it's just almost every creative decision that they made, like big creative decision, like brought down everything decent that was in this movie.
One thing to note, Micah, this is one of the only, well, I think actually the only Mission Impossible movie where Tom Cruise isn't being hunted by someone. And it lacks so much tension because of it.
He's actually like legal.
He's just going around doing his job.
Right? He's like... Which is interesting because Ravi actually made a comment while we were watching this. He was like, narratively, this feels like it should come before the first Mission Impossible movie. And I would totally agree with that.
It's so weird. Like,
because he's just doing his job.
He's just doing his job. Nothing goes wrong, really. Nothing happens. Like, it just...
He just does
his job, and that's it.
Yeah.
And it's very boring.
Because, like, let's sorry, in Mission Impossible 1, they think he's the mole. They go after him.
Yeah, I was about to say, his whole team gets murdered, and
Mission Impossible 3, they all think he's the mole, and they go after him.
Wow, this is very original.
In Mission Impossible 4, they all think he's the mole, and they go after him. In Mission Impossible 5, they all think he's the mole and go after him.
And in
Mission Impossible 6,
they all think he's John Lark.
yeah, they all think he's the mole, and they go after him.
See, that's what this one was missing.
Yeah, they needed to think he was the mole.
No, the plot just needed some sort of
Tension.
thrust. It needed something to give
Conflict.
it anything.
Instead, it was just like Tom Cruise like smiling, and then like
His smile in this
her going like, "I don't want to be here, Tom."
Is that what it was like, Mike?
Yes.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to bring up that this is a very, very boring, unplot-driven movie.
No, it is. It's very boring. And yet it still has some of the most whack stuff of the series.
Bro, the lighting in the lab, though.
I don't know about that.
I love that.
I don't know about that.
That's how every lab needs to be.
I
lit.
was not a fan of the lighting. I thought it was kind of cheesy.
I thought the the natural daylight all day long thing with the mirrors. I thought that was a pretty cool thing. Just as a side note.
Wow.
But yeah, the basic thoughts. There you go.
There we go. Oh yeah, and I thought the action was pretty terrible.
Pretty terrible. Oh.
Probably the worst of the series.
Oh yeah, no. I would say worst of the series. Although I don't think anyone's arguing that this isn't the worst movie of the series.
Right.
And wouldn't come with the worst action of the series.
Right. I don't know. It feels like, I don't know, this movie is so odd because it feels like while you're watching it that this stuff should be working.
Exactly. Yeah, while I was sitting there watching the motorcycle stuff, I'm like, dude, this is actually pretty cool, but I just don't care.
Yeah.
For any reason.
By the time you get to the motorcycle jousting and all of that and that final fight, I'm like, oh my gosh, why are they still throwing their fists at each other?
It hit the hour and a half mark. I'm like, okay, when is this going to be over? Please tell me.
Well, no, they do the whole lab thing, and they have this huge, almost climactic moment, and then there's still 45 minutes left of the movie.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, do you have any questions, Micah?
Questions? Yes, I have a question.
Does it relate to Mission Impossible 2?
Maybe.
Okay.
What do you think of the mythology of Khmer?
Oh my gosh.
No, what's your favorite scene or sequence?
Favorite scene or sequence? If I could just retrieve one scene from this movie to preserve.
I know what yours would be. I have it locked in my mind of what yours would be.
What would mine be?
The bathtub scene.
No. Most certainly would not. Not with the dialogue like that.
Oh boy.
Jax, the dialogue in this is so bad.
Yeah, you didn't mention it, but the dialogue is so
the borderline
awful.
creepy, well, probably just straight up creepy dialogue in a lot of this movie.
Right. And the camera angles, I'm like,
Favorite scene. Scene I like. Even a scene I just like.
I have one, but
go ahead and say yours then. It might be mine.
My favorite would simply be the plane crash scene. No more. Don't continue, because then you're hitting the bath scene.
Plane crash. Oh yeah, no, that is pretty good.
Dimitri and
I didn't
all
even
that.
think about that. Yeah, the Dimitri reveal was actually pretty sick. I'm not gonna lie.
Right, you go in.
I was like, bro, this is awesome.
I remembered it, but you don't go in expecting Tom Cruise to not be Tom Cruise.
Yeah,
you know?
that was. I will give it that. That was a very cool way to open the movie.
I'm sure it would be cool if you knew nothing about it too. You go in completely blind, and then Tom Cruise is karate chopping people.
I know,
pulling off his face.
At first, I was like, wait a minute, is Tom Cruise evil in this one? And I just forgot.
He's like, is Tom Cruise now against his whole no casualty thing?
Exactly.
Yeah, that would probably be mine.
Shoot, dog,
That's
yeah.
the only scene I could think of that I like.
I didn't even think about
like
that.
fully like.
But yeah.
Because technically the scene, like, that just so happens to accompany the bathtub scene is good-ish. Except for the bathtub scene.
Yikes. Yeah, I don't know. I definitely, because I was, that's the only part of the movie where I was actually like, bro, this is kind of cool.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
what?
it's a cool opener for sure.
Indeed.
Though I don't like the Cliff stuff.
You know,
Their song choice is whack.
if they'd have chose a different song,
I hate the throwing the exploding glasses.
I don't know why you don't like the exploding sunglasses.
It's
I thought it
so
was pretty cool.
horrible.
I thought it
hate
was
it.
pretty cool, Mike.
I hate it, Robbie.
Wasn't the explosion practical?
Yes.
That's pretty good.
But, like, they chose the randomness, like, the most random things to do practical in this movie. like at one point,
sunglasses.
at one point, somebody, the main villain comes at Tom Cruise with a knife. They fall down,
Bro.
and the knife stops, like, literally centimeters from his eyeball.
No, like a centimeter away from
And
his
they
eye.
did that practically with a real knife. They put it on a rope or like a cord or whatever.
How big was this knife?
They put it on a cord to stop it before it hit his
Yeah.
eye. But if he was leaning up at all, it could have hit his eye. I hate some like most of the risks Tom Cruise takes for stunts. I'm like, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's really cool. But like that one, I'm like, why?
Okay, but it's still pretty cool.
But the knife is so close to his eyeball.
I know, it's so close and it's so cool. I love it. I actually really like that that point in the scene, Mike.
Okay. Do you have a question?
I do have a question.
Wow.
What is your favorite element about this movie? Like, what is just one thing they did pretty well, or good?
I think the one thing they did okay in this movie, the one thing that has to be okay, otherwise there would be no series, is Ethan Hunt himself.
Ethan Bunting.
He's definitely not at his best for the series,
No,
but
this is
he's-
probably his worst performance in the series.
he's still at least Tom Cruise.
Wow.
Just grinning Tom Cruise.
Oh my gosh, his dumb smile in this movie.
Well, I mean, that's like a staple of Tom Cruise, though, is his stupid smile that he has. It's always so big and like just like Tom Cruise-y, and he does it so much in this
I
movie.
swear.
He watched My Hero Academia before he filmed the movie, and he was like, "You got to do it with a smile."
Wow.
Uh,
If I had to choose what I think they did best,
if you had to choose,
I would say probably just the physical stunt coordination in this movie is
she was your favorite.
pretty
part.
downright pretty downright impressive. I'll say it.
I'll say it.
I'll say it. Who's gonna stop me? John Woo knows how to set up stunts well.
I don't know. Besides, like name an interesting stunt.
The motorcycle, the cars on the road,
I
Micah.
didn't like the cars on the
What?
road. I thought it was kind of cheesy. and-
Okay, yeah, maybe cheesy, but I still think it's like a well choreographed stunt.
And I don't know. Like I didn't think it was. I thought it was kind of not good choreography. Oh, also, if you go onto IMDb, you can find a picture
You
of the
can find
knife.
the picture of the knife next to his eye.
Yeah.
Are you want to shoot something like that, Micah?
No.
All right. Well, if I had to choose what I think they did best,
I
it would
didn't
probably
like
be that.
motorcycle jousting.
I thought the
didn't-
motorcycle jousting was pretty cool.
I didn't like the car stuff. Like the only cool stunt I can think of that they did was the jumping into the building.
Don't you mean? Or are you into the building? Not the jump out, Micah. I was talking about the jump out earlier.
No, I'm talking about the jump in.
Oh, I mean that is pretty cool. I kind of forgot about that.
Barely makes it through.
Dang,
Barely
Luther,
makes it through the bad CGI panel.
Luther needed some more screen time in this.
Right? Luther's hardly in this.
What happened?
And then like, it was funny while we were watching it, like the pacing was so awful during the lab stuff that when Luther, like the tension and the pacing was so awful that when Luther's van blows up while he's in it,
Bro.
I'm just like, oh, Luther died.
Well, he died.
There he goes.
Uh,
Bye, Luther.
Bye, Luther.
Okay. Because like I just didn't care in the slightest.
Bro, when Luther goes missing in Fallout, though,
You're like, oh my gosh,
Oh my
Luther
God.
is gonna die.
He's
you
literally-
you literally are like crying behind the TV.
Are you
this
okay, Micah?
in this one, you're like, Luther died.
Well, bro, what was up with the Australian guy in this movie?
Yeah, the
That's my
the
question.
Australian guy in this movie said mate or bloke every sentence.
Bro, one of the Australian reviewers who reviewed this movie on Letterboxd said, "Why didn't you guys tell me this was set in Australia?"
Right? Like why is it set
Why
in
is
Australia?
it set in Australia? We don't know, Micah. There was absolutely no reason for it to be set in Australia.
Like, it hardly has anything to do with Australia. Hardly any of the people are Australian.
I don't
There's
get.
no reason.
I don't get why this movie is the way it is, Micah. Like I said, it takes.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with Australia. I like Australia.
I am on board for absolutely like tonally and different direction sequels and franchises.
Yeah, no.
But this just doesn't work on like almost every level.
Yeah, it's like like I said, every creative decision you feel like you want it to work, but it doesn't.
You're like, wow, that was really creative. Too bad it sucks.
Also, this is like the most like sexual of any of the Mission Impossible movies, and
Yes,
I hate
it
it so much because not only is it in there, and that's just like why in
Yeah.
my Mission Impossible series,
In my mission, you're taking ownership of the franchise, Mike.
but also they do it so horribly.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, I don't mind that in a movie sometimes, but like, this is just awful.
Like they do it
Awful.
so like horribly uncomfortable, cheesy, and
Creepy.
like creepy,
Creepy, Mike.
that you're like, what am I watching?
I don't want to be watching this.
Like
Yeah.
even the stuff with like Tom Cruise, I'm like, why is Tom Cruise shirtless right now?
Even Micah's man crush couldn't save it.
I do not have a man crush on Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise.
There is
Yikes.
there like you could make that claim for several actors, and I probably wouldn't deny it.
Wow.
But Tom Cruise.
So Micah, how do you feel, for the next question, how do you feel about Tom Cruise having your haircut in this movie?
I think I'm gonna sue.
You're gonna sue? Copyright?
Copyright my haircut.
Yours is a little more like curly than his is.
Yeah, my hair is more curly, so that can't be helped.
Maybe we need to do like a Shirley Temple movie next.
What?
Curly top, maybe,
No,
Micah?
no.
Maybe?
My hair isn't even curly, it's just wavy.
Wavy. So what's the difference, Micah? Curly and wavy?
Well, curly is like curling, wavy is just woo,
Wave.
woo, woo, woo.
Speaking of woo, why is this his worst movie? No,
I haven't seen any of the rest of his
I'm kidding.
movies.
Yeah, I've never seen any of his
But
other
I
movies.
don't want to.
I believe this was after the success of Face Off, though, right?
I don't know. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
The only person I know who's watched Face Off gave it a half star.
Yeah, Hard Boiled, I believe, is his highest acclaimed one, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah,
But
it's got a 4 average.
yeah. But I don't know. This is I feel like this is a bad jumping off point for John Woo. Like if you're gonna
Right.
get into his movies,
We could just watch Paycheck to do another
Paycheck,
John Woo movie.
not Paycheck, Micah. No, how could you?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I just thought it was odd to get. I think it's so weird going from someone like Brian De Palma for the first movie, and like I said, I'm totally on board for different direction for sequels because there are a bunch of like crazy sequels that are awesome. But why John Woo?
Right?
That's what I'm thinking. Like Brian De Palma to John Woo. That's quite the jump.
How do they make the decisions? It's like even like we were doing with the Harry Potter series when they would switch directors, and I've seen some of the behind the scenes stuff for that, so I know why they some of the thought process, but like also what the heck is the thought process?
Well, I'm thinking probably, like I said, he had just come off of the success of not Hard Boiled, Face Off, and they probably just wanted another action movie director.
Yeah.
And knowing Tom Cruise at the time, according to the bonus features, he was just trying to make a really, really entertaining movie.
Right. In the bonus features you watch, he's just like, I want to make this as fun as possible. That's why I'm doing all the stunts
why I'm
real.
doing.
I got to do everything to make this as fun as possible.
And it's the most boring movie in the franchise.
Right. But hey, that's one thing. Everybody I know, and I would tend to agrees that Tom Cruise is just extremely dedicated to making a fun movie franchise.
He's just trying to make these movies as fun as he can.
He's trying to have fun. He's trying to make something that you'll have fun.
And he's trying to make millions of dollars.
He can do that anytime.
Exactly. Doesn't even have to try. He just makes millions of dollars. Like.
Do you think there's something you could narrow down to just the biggest problem?
The biggest problem? Yeah, it's lack of narrative tension.
Lack of narrative tension.
I swear, if there was a driving force, I think a lot of the action sequences, just the way they are, would work a heck of a lot better.
What do you think would give it that even? Like, could you think of a way to give this story that?
Just, I don't know, you could go like MI3 where he has to save someone, or... What's another good example of I don't know, they use a different thing to motivate Ethan in each different movie, but it usually has something to do with a specific person that we, the audience, actually care about.
Let's go through the list. In the first one, it's what's her face, technically speaking.
What's her face?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the second one, it's nothing. And the third one, it's his wife.
His wife.
And the fourth one, it's nothing. Which is why I think the fourth one is lacking a lot.
Fourth one is
Ghost Protocol. There's not much happening in Ghost Protocol.
So you're saying that they only work well when he's trying to save the girl, Mike?
No, I think just there's we'll get to Ghost Protocol when we get to it, but I think it lacks a lot in characters.
Okay.
Fifth one,
Rogue Nation. What is?
Yeah,
Rogue
I feel like
Nation
Ghost
about?
Protocol and Rogue Nation are both just him against the system,
which is also interesting.
Yeah,
that's what the first one kind of thrives off of too.
Yeah. And then Fallout is kind of him against the system, but also him saving his wife.
Which is why it's the best one, my God.
Yeah. You guys should all go watch Fallout. Is the moral of the story.
Yeah, I don't know. Example of what could motivate him. Like you said, anything. It's usually either Ethan against the system, IMF, that sort of thing, or Ethan against the bad guy, which the bad guy in this movie is
he's awful.
He's really bad.
Yeah.
He's at least it's not one of those weird movies where the bad guy's never in it, but at the same time when your villain is this boring, I don't know how much you actually want him in the movie.
Right. And he's the one who brings all of the creepiness, and not good villain creepiness, why am I watching this creepiness to the movie?
But hey, the actor seems like a cool guy.
Yeah, he seems fun.
He seems like a fun guy. Yeah, no, this is just, like I said, almost every side character in this movie is just so, even to an extent, Ethan is just so, flat and just nothing there. So uninteresting.
But hey, those slow-mo doves, though.
Bro, those slow-mo doves were actually cinema. Why didn't you warn me? Bro, the
Doves.
little... Okay, I want the shot of him with the dove, on the
that
bar.
coos.
That goes...
It coos right in his face.
and gives away his position. I want that shot. I want it on my wall.
It's just like this white dove,
It's so
and he's hanging
funny.
on the ceiling, and it goes.
It's because the dove just has the dumbest look on his face.
Doves always have the dumbest looks on their faces, though. Doves are so stupid.
Dang, are you more of a morning dove guy, Micah?
No.
More of a pigeon guy?
Yes.
Wait, what?
I would take a pigeon.
Well, there
over-
were pigeons in this movie.
Where?
There were when he scares the birds, there's like a couple doves and most of it's pigeons.
No.
If you're looking.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
No. Do you know what doves look like, Robbie?
Sometimes.
They were all doves.
What? Have I just been seeing doves this entire time and I thought they were pigeons?
Yes.
Well, pigeons are pretty cute too.
Like we never like think around here. We never have pigeons around here.
Bro, okay, but just to get this out of the way for the podcast listeners, doves and mourning doves are the cutest birds. I will not be taking
that
questions.
is wrong. I would probably kill off the doves before any other bird.
Dang.
I do not like doves.
What about ostriches, Micah?
No, ostriches are sick, man. They're the largest land bird.
I see. Must be very proud.
It's pretty sick.
But anyway, enough about birds and doves and pigeons.
Well, those are all birds.
What a polite young pigeon.
What a polite young pigeon. See? The pigeons are polite and young.
I see.
They help Aunt Lucy.
Help Aunt Lucy navigate London.
Yeah. Back to the movie anyway.
Back
it
to
feels
the
like
future.
there's so little to talk about for
Yeah,
this movie because
like,
it's so
it's
like
just-
the problems that are with it are
They're
so weird.
The problems
but
it
messes
has
up the movie so much.
the problems it has are so big that it just kind of like that's
You're
the
just
problem.
like, there's the problem.
That's it. Gotcha.
I don't know. Like, what's good about this movie?
I mean, we kind of already went over. what
Yeah,
that
but
was
like I don't like the lighting or the cinematography that
good.
much.
Bro, the lighting. The lighting in this movie.
I don't like
I love it.
most of the actors in context of the movie.
The performances in this movie.
What's her face is really rough.
The writing.
What's his face is really rough.
It's so boring.
I think like it's such an odd thing because like they only have really 3 main characters for the whole movie, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like it's such limited like I don't know what they were going for, but I feel like there's such a limited amount of just actual character to this movie. Like you have them two, like Tom Cruise's character and the bad guy, and even to some extent what's her face, but less so her. But like outside of that, even with our Luther and the Australian guy who I don't even know his name, and just like all the other side characters have no characterization really.
Come to think of it, if you're thinking the small cast is a hindrance to this, think MI3. That has just about the same size of main characters.
I'm not saying the small cast is a bad thing. I'm saying the fact that they have such a small cast, but then they only do anything with 2 people.
Yeah, okay. I was like, wait a minute. I was like, MI3 executes its tiny cast of
I don't have
characters
anything
really
against
well.
small casts. I was mainly saying they have such this small tight cast that they could have done something really cool with, giving
Like
all
MI3.
of them, yeah, like MI3, and at least giving them all character. But the only ones that do have character are Hunt and the bad guy, and even then it's not very good.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't have much else to say about it.
Yeah.
Although this had Knuckles McGinty in it.
Did have Knuckles McGinty.
And,
you can't miss with Knuckles McGinty.
It's true.
Though he had more characterization as Knuckles McGinty.
No kidding, Micah, because Paddington 2 might be the objectively perfect movie. Might be.
Maybe.
Phoenix Buchanan. I'm looking at you.
Nothing but a 5-star script. That's for sure.
That's true.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It might be a short.
Might be short.
It might be a short thing because that's about all I have to say about it. Like closing thoughts really would just be like, it's not very good. They have a lot of problems.
Watch this so you can watch 3 after it.
I mean, you don't even have to. That's what kills me.
That's the thing.
Nothing about this movie
You
matters
could
to
throw
the
this
overall
thing
plot.
out. You could throw it out.
You could throw it away. You
and
could burn it
wouldn't
forever.
make any difference
And
in the franchise.
It changes nothing. That's why another reason why like it makes sense that you said like,
Yeah.
oh, this feels like narratively it should take place before the first one.
I swear, he seems so much less matured as a person in this one than in the first Mission Impossible movie.
Right? Like it does feel so much like this is a younger Ethan Hunt.
Just
than
call
what we
this.
get.
Just call this Mission Impossible.
0
Pre-hunt
pre-hunt.
or something like that.
So yeah,
then-
like honestly, if you're watching these, watch 2 and then 1 and tell me how it goes.
That would actually be so much better because then you'd be getting better as the franchise
Right?
goes on.
Then you go 2
rather than going one garbage 3.
4 is I don't know.
We need to watch. We need
4
to watch 4
over
again.
3 would be a difficult thing to say, but 5, 6, cinema.
Cinema, literally. Oh, I wish I could have gone and seen Fallout in theater.
Right? Give me that thing on IMAX, baby.
But yeah, any closing thoughts, Micah?
I just did my closing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty bad in my eyes. There are some people who enjoy it, and if you enjoy it, please keep enjoying it because no one else is going to.
One of the top reviews said the longest Scooby-Doo episode ever.
Bro, I swear. They might have a point.
All right. Do we, I guess, want to go over what we watched?
Yes, we do, Micah.
Wowza.
Wowzers.
Starting from...
What was the last episode about?
What was the last episode about?
What? What was the last episode about? What was the last episode? What was it about, Mike?
I don't remember.
Was
Was it of what we watched? It was.
It might have been. Okay, what's the date?
The 14th.
The 14th. Okay, cool. Wow, we just completely forgot what we did. All right, so we're starting on the 15th.
Oh yeah, I remember because we forgot about the podcast.
Yeah, we forgot the podcast existed again.
Yeah.
I made a pretty funny joke that week.
Oh, wait. Before we do this, we should officially rank it.
Oh, right.
So I gave it 2.5 stars. And Robbie, what would you give it if you were rating movies?
That's what I would rate it. No, I would probably give it at 1.5.
Which puts us together at a 4
out of 10.
Out of 10. So MI2 is going to go below MI1 in our overall Mission Impossible recently logged ranked. MI1's got a 7.5, which is a pretty decent score.
Yeah. No, 7.5. That's pretty good.
And MI2 has a 4.
4.
An overall 4.
Yes.
So we'll see how it goes from here and see if they get progressively better. Do 8 and then 8.5 and then 9 and then 9.5 and then 10.
Then 10. Wow. All right. Well,
now we'll do what we watched.
Let's get on to what we watched this past week.
All right.
Since you guys are so curious.
Starting on the 15th.
15th.
What did we watch?
We watched the 2016 action masterpiece, Jason Bourne.
Wow, is this awful?
It wasn't.
I would take Mission Impossible 2 over this movie.
No. I wouldn't go that far.
I would.
It was pretty bad though.
It was boring. I gave it 2.5 stars. But I thought this was the worst of the Bourne series.
Honestly, I don't even know what I'd rate this. I didn't care about it enough.
They're so. I don't know why people like these movies. Like you gotta understand from our point of view.
I could see loving the first one.
From our point of view, like our family, pretty much all of our family outside of us, really likes the Bourne movies
for some reason.
And we're watching them like this was our first watch through of the Bourne movies. and I don't see the appeal. And I'm a big action movie guy.
And you're a big Matt Damon guy.
And I'm a big Matt Damon guy. I really like Matt Damon, and I
Really?
really like action movies. It should be the perfect
Mike's like
combination.
Matt Damon action movie. Sounds like a winner.
But it's not.
but it's not.
It's just not good.
Yeah. Which kind of sucks. I'm
yeah,
sad.
It's sad.
Because now I've committed like 8 hours of my life, probably more, to watching these movies.
Right.
And I just don't enjoy really any of them.
All right. Anyway, next on the 16th, we watched Pure Cinema.
We really did, didn't
We watched Knives Out.
we? Knives.
This is one of my favorite movies of all time. I gave it 5 stars. It's in my top 4 favorites on Letterboxd. Ryan Johnson is a genius. This movie is.
You just lost half of our fan base.
just go watch my video. I did a video about it on my channel. It's M Grayway Films on YouTube.
Also, you can check out our podcast episode about Knives Out that we did last year
with Zach.
Yes, a known Ryan Johnson hater.
Yes, a known Ryan Johnson hater. We got a known Ryan Johnson hater on the podcast.
We've had many of those on the podcast. But yeah, no. If I were to rate Knives Out, I'd probably give it a 4.5. It's not quite to a 5. It's so dang close.
I think it's a 5.
So close
I think it's a 5.
to a 5. But I
think it's a 5.
Guys, if you haven't seen Knives Out, go watch it.
This was actually my
It's so
my
much fun.
12th time logging Knives Out. By the way,
12. I've only seen it 4 times, Micah.
Yeah, but part of this was simply because I did this thing.
That means for every one time I have seen this movie, you have seen it 3 times.
Exactly. I did this thing where it was like choose a film and watch it once a day for a week and see if you still like it. And I did. And I did.
And I did. And I did. I'm thinking about doing that with La La Land one of these days. I just love it so much.
And
then I'll have depression.
I don't know if I could.
And then I'll have depression.
It's like that person who is suing The Last of Us Part 2 for giving them depression.
Oh my gosh. Bro.
Anyway, on the 17th, we had an interesting day of
Speaking
cinema.
of mediocre action movies.
Day at the races, day at the cinemas.
I'm beginning to not like action movies, Micah.
We watched Quantum of Solace.
Quantum of Solace.
Quantum of Solace. Quantum of Solace, the Bond movie with Daniel Craig, 2008.
Yeah, it's not good.
Everybody warned me. Everybody said,
it's the worst Craig Bond.
It's the worst Craig Bond. And I was like, yeah, probably will be.
Yeah, probably will be.
And then it was. So far, anyway, I haven't watched Spectre.
It's pretty sad coming off Casino Royale and coming to this.
Right? Like we did an episode on Casino Royale, so you can go listen to that. I actually like Casino Royale.
Casino Royale's
Casino
fun.
Royale is a good movie.
It's a good time. But Quantum of Solace, it's almost as boring as Mission Impossible 2.
Right? Oh my gosh. Actually, it feels really similar.
Yeah, I was about to say it's
just
not
a bunch of bad creative decisions.
It's not as cringe as MI2 is, but it's pretty bad.
Definitely doesn't feel like I haven't watched any other Bond. If you hear us in the Casino Royale episode, we talk about how it was our first Bond movie. I haven't watched any other Bond movies, but this just felt so not like a Bond movie.
For real. It felt like some weird, like, low-budget action movie. Like, not low-budget in, like, the quality of, like, production, but low-budget in the quality of the writing.
Right? I don't know. I gave it 2.5 stars.
Yeah, I would probably give it 2.
Next, we watched Star Wars: The Force Awakens with Luke. Actually,
if you're on YouTube, you can go to our guest episodes playlist, and I think he's on like 3 of the episodes now, or something like that.
I think it's only 2.
He was on JoJo
and the Muppets.
Okay.
But you can also check out his channel. It's Luke on YouTube.
Yeah, or his podcast, the Off the Mark podcast, which
Yes.
I think has a new episode coming out in the next little bit.
I was on that podcast.
Wow.
Anyway, The Force Awakens.
We need to do an episode on sometime.
Is an interesting thing.
JJ, Micah.
I'm a huge Star Wars fan, but if I'm put in a situation like we were, which we were just having fun roasting movies, that was kind of the point of our
Yeah.
our watch through. We were just having fun watching movies, and we were kind of roasting this one pretty hard. But it does have so much you can like get onto in this movie. It's so mediocre.
It's fine. I think it's fine.
I think out of all of the sequel trilogy, I don't think this is the best.
I think it's the least offensive.
Yeah,
of all
I think
of
it's the most just fine.
Yeah,
and that's why I think everybody hates like this. It's super divisive between The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker. Like people either love those or hate them, or just don't like Star Wars anymore. Or but this one was so forgettable.
It really is,
and so just mediocre throughout.
From what I have seen of J.J. Abrams, besides MI3, his films seem really, really forgettable when he directs.
Yeah. But I have to, excuse me, but I have to agree with what I said while we were watching it. I dislike The Force Awakens a lot. Like, I like it, but I dislike it a lot just solely for the fact that it could have been so, like, it could have been so much more.
Yeah. Which is why The Last Jedi is the best Star Wars movie.
Wow. They had the opportunity to do anything. They had the opportunity to do so much with Star Wars. They could change it up so much.
Indeed.
And then they did The Force Awakens.
And then they did The Force Awakens.
Which I don't dislike The Force Awakens, like, as a movie.
Force Awakens is fine,
I give
guess.
it 3 stars. I think it's pretty forgettable, but I'm a big Star Wars fan, and I would enjoy watching it anytime.
I think it's probably one of the more boring of the sequels, but I think it's still pretty fun overall.
Yeah.
I don't know. I probably would have given it a 3.5.
Yeah. Anyway, what do we watch next? Oh, ye playing video games
I'm playing
in the studio.
Okay, geez. Next we watched
Not cinema.
we watched Johnny English.
I'm sorry, Luke. I'm not that British.
Wait,
Actually, I'm not British at all.
Wait,
So.
has Luke seen this? He hasn't logged it. No.
Well, no, I think he said he has seen it. Because he DM'd me after I said I didn't like it. And was like, but it's a classic British movie.
Yikes.
But like, I have nothing against British cinema. But maybe I do have something against British cinema.
Kind of seems like you do.
If this is British cinema.
If this is British cinema, then death to it. No, I'm just kidding. No. I actually liked this a little bit.
I did not.
I thought it was fun.
I did not.
I thought it was pretty dumb a lot of the time.
It was really dumb.
But I think it's pretty fun still. I might watch it sometime when it's like I want a movie to turn on in the background.
No, I really hope I never have to watch this movie.
It has like it has an occasional good joke in it, which is why I would probably turn it on as a background movie.
Go watch, what is that? Mr. Bean Takes a Holiday or something.
That is much better, I will say.
That's
Rowan Atkinson is much better in that movie.
Yeah, Mr. Bean's Holiday.
Mr. Bean's Holiday. Oh my gosh! Plus, it has Willem Dafoe.
It does have Willem Dafoe.
So it's obviously the superior flick.
It is, in fact.
But any movie with Willem Dafoe is superior.
That's true.
I don't think anyone's going to argue.
It's superior than just any other movie.
Which is why I'm petitioning to get Willem Dafoe in Knives Out 2. Let's do it.
Hey, man. Do it. Rian Johnson, if you're listening.
Rian Johnson, if you are listening right now, do it.
Rian Johnson is just active enough on Twitter that if I tweet out at him, he might respond.
But yeah, no, not much to say about it. It's pretty mediocre in a lot of respects.
I didn't like hardly any of the comedy, which is why I didn't like it.
It made me laugh a couple times, which is hard to do.
Micah can attest. It made me laugh out loud like once.
Dang. Was it when he held the gun to the corgi?
Yes, that was it. When he held the gun to the corgi.
When he's threatening the queen and he picks up the corgi.
He's threatening the queen and she's like, okay, kill me or something
that is such
like
a good
I'll
joke.
Never sign it. And then he grabs the corgi and holds the gun up to the corgi and she signs.
I will die on the hill that is such a good, it is a quality joke. That is a top tier. He just picks up the corgi and holds like this ginormous like golden eagle to his head.
Yeah, that was cinema. That alone was cinema.
That scene was cinema.
Then what did we watch though, Rabbi?
Then we watched the highest acclaimed Bond movie of all time.
Yikes.
Wait, really? Maybe.
I think so.
I don't know.
I
was just making stuff up. Maybe it
It's
is.
got a 3.8. That's pretty good for Bond, I think.
But yeah, we watched Skyfall.
Skyfall could have been so good. Like, I know so many people who love this movie, and it could have been amazing to me. But it feels like, I'll describe what I think it feels like. It feels like the end of this really long action series. Like even like a...
Feels like the end of like an Uncharted thing.
Like Fallout kind of thing. Like, it feels like it should be at the end where lots of movies were before it. It's set, like, lots of movies set this up. So many things are culminating because it acts like so many things are culminating and nothing is culminating.
I don't know. I wouldn't say nothing.
I don't know, but like we go from Quantum of Solace, where like
Yikes.
he's at the peak of his game, if you will, and then they come back in this movie and they act like he's old
right up there
and
with the big dog.
they act like he's a has-been and has been in the game for forever, and I'm like, what? He's two movies.
I'm at the top of my game.
Right up there with the big dogs. Leave the saving of the world to the men? I don't think so. I don't think so.
Honestly, I didn't give this a like on Letterboxd, but as it has sat with me more, I think I.
But that's because
I think I like it.
No, in concept, it's really good.
The production design,
amazing.
Cinematography, best that
So
I've seen so
good.
far in the series.
Like there's so many cool things in here too, but I feel like they would only work if you had them set up in previous movies, and this came together as the end of the series. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but like everything from the villain to M, like the stuff with M that happened with M, all of this, all of like the dramatic speeches that get made, all of the moments where Bond's like, I've been doing this for too long, all of the stuff where he goes back to like his house, the whole reason it's called Skyfall, I feel like needed to be set up, needed to be like this thing that culminated for Bond's life, but it's just not.
Bro, I had no idea that this was the guy who did Jarhead and 1917 and American Beauty.
Wait, the guy who
directed this.
The guy who directed American Beauty directed Jarhead?
Yes.
I didn't know that. That's whack.
I had no idea. Oh my gosh.
That's whack.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't apparently dislike it as much as Micah.
No, I don't dislike it. I just am mad at it.
Oh.
Like, I'm honestly mad at the movie for being what it is without anything leading to it.
I think I still like Casino Royale better.
No, I do like Casino Royale better. The production design and the actual craft of this one is good.
It's so good.
And like,
I swear.
I don't like the villain. The villain is kind of
The villain is
but I feel like the
fine.
villain could have been good if he was in a previous movie. Like I said, he makes like this analogy or whatever about like these rats in a barrel.
Okay, Mike.
No. He makes an analogy about rats in a barrel, about how blah blah blah.
The
Leave
rats
them
eat
in
each
there for long enough, they'll eat each other, blah blah blah. There's 2 rats left, you let them out, blah blah blah. Big long analogy, villain style. And then
one of the most boring scenes in the movie.
Yeah, honestly. Then he calls him and Bond the last 2 rats. And I'm like, how? We just went from Quantum of Solace to this. How are they the last 2 rats? What happened to all the other rats?
Mike is like, where are all the other rats?
Like, I don't get it. I don't get this movie. I get it was like, I think it was like the 40th, 50th Bond anniversary or whatever.
I think it was 50th.
So I get if they were trying to do like some big culminating Bond overall thing, but in the context of this franchise, I don't think the creative decisions work.
I don't know. I would tend to disagree sometimes, especially I wouldn't go that extreme, but I don't know. It does feel a little not as earned as it should.
Yeah, I don't know.
As a culmination to the franchise.
I give it 3.5 stars because it is really well done out of them.
Yeah. Plus, it has Ben Warshaw, Micah.
That's true.
And that's always a win.
Yeah, you could hear him say
Bro.
Aunt Lucy.
Bro, Paddington in this movie. That's all I have to say.
Paddington, it was the edgiest we've ever
The
seen.
edgiest we've ever seen him.
Paddington.
What would Aunt Lucy say?
What would Aunt Lucy say?
We don't know.
He was not kind and polite.
He was not kind and polite.
Hence the world was not right.
The sky was falling.
The sky was falling. Anyway, after that, we watched Arrival,
Arrival.
which is cinema.
Did someone say best modern sci-fi movie?
Probably. I still think my review for this movie is pretty good. You should go check that out on Letterboxd.
I don't know. I've never seen like Blade Runner 2049 or anything like that.
Yeah, other Denis.
Oh yeah, that's also. I was like, well, what would also be like a really highly acclaimed sci-fi movie?
He's done all of them.
Yeah, Mike's like he's doing all of them.
Hopefully, I'm really hoping Dune is going to be good.
But yeah, if you've never seen Arrival, stop listening and go watch Arrival.
Stop the podcast right now and go watch Arrival.
Because
It's
it's
so good.
really, really good.
I got Haley to watch this for the first time, which she has actually been a guest on the podcast before.
Yes, on the Insidious
episode, and she hadn't seen this, and I got her to watch it.
Once again, go to the guests playlist, and you can find a lot of the people that we mentioned.
Not only is this movie amazing, and I'd watch it anytime, but like with all of the Dune stuff that's been going around, it's just gotten me even more hyped for Dune. So, yeah.
Dang, Micah, this is one of the only like desaturated kind of blue-looking movies that I'm okay with.
It's like blue-gray, but like it looks good still.
It fits well.
Yeah. I give it 5 stars.
And it looks so good.
Because, like, it's a 5-star movie.
I think, honestly, I would probably give it 5 if I was rating
There's
it.
no other rating.
It's got such a good screenplay.
What else can you give it?
And I actually found out about a lot of the story elements from the book that they based it on, and they changed a couple things in the screenplay, and I actually think it's definitely for the better.
Yeah.
Okay, did you know originally that her daughter actually, spoilers, while rock climbing instead of like from a disease in the book, and to make it seem a little more inevitable in the movie, they made it a rare disease.
I'm glad they made it a rare disease because like otherwise just don't go rock climbing.
It's that easy.
Like at least like what they did with this, at least it was like don't have a child or she died either don't have a child at all or she's going to die eventually.
That was the biggest thing that I was like,
conflict.
oh thank heavens they changed it.
But like just dying rock climbing, don't go rock climbing.
But yeah, no, I just thought it was interesting to know.
You know, that's actually one thing I wondered about Arrival though, because she experiences things non-linearly at the end of this movie. Could she change things?
I don't know.
She's from the perspective of the movie, she's jumping from thing to thing with no real
semblance of
she's
structure.
obviously she is making doing things in it, but she's bouncing from event to event that she's already technically speaking done.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know. Much to think about.
Yeah, no, Arrival's really good. Go watch it.
Then we watched...
And that was it for me.
Mission Impossible 2, and then after that I watched Foreign Correspondent, which was my 1000th diary entry on Letterboxd. Heck yeah. I don't have a social life. Foreign Correspondent was another Hitchcock movie that I wanted to check off my watch list because I'm trying to watch all of his films at some point. Not including the show, because there's a lot of the show. But yeah, no, it was fine. It's another addition to the category of Hitchcock films that are just fine or pretty good. You know? It wasn't another Psycho like I was hoping, so it's a sad time. Dang, I really do love Psycho. We need to watch Psycho, Mike.
Gosh, the quotes for this movie suck.
It's because the writing in the movie sucked. Not Foreign Correspondent, Mission Impossible 2. For a little context.
Okay, I found one, though.
Alright. Do it, Micah.
Yeah, it's a 2-parter, or a 3-parter even.
Where's mine?
You gotta say this.
Wait, I'm doing that part?
Yeah, you're doing this part.
Oh, okay. I got it then.
You keep calling me Dimitri. You really shouldn't.
You are not Dimitri?
No. That was the sound of me karate chopping Robbie in the neck, by the way.
This is the first recorded vibe check in recently logged history.
And then I'd have to just lean over and like snap his neck or something, but we're not going to do that on the podcast. We'll do that later.
Crack my neck.
There you go. Perfect.
I don't think you can hear that.
Sound effects for the studio. I don't know. Maybe.
That's what I get.
All right.
Well, bye guys. See you next time.